The Galicia, operated by the French shipping company Brittany Ferries, arrives in Portsmouth, on the south coast of England. Portsmouth is the British base port of the Galicia. From here, the Galicia serves the long-haul routes to Bilbao or Santander in Spain twice a week. The crossing takes around 33 hours and covers a distance of approximately 460 nautical miles or 852 kilometers. This makes it one of the longest ferry routes in Europe. The Galicia also sails once a week from Portsmouth to Cherbourg in France. This crossing takes 8 hours at night and 5.5 hours during the day. In March 2016, the Swedish shipping company Stena E-Flexer ordered 4 ships of its newly developed E-Flexer standard design from the Chinese shipyard AVIC Weihai shipyard. Originally, all 4 ships in this order were intended for use on Stena's own routes. However, even at this early stage, Brittany Ferries expressed an interest in taking over the 3rd ship and deploying it on its own route network. This is notable because, until this point, Brittany had developed its new buildings on a highly customized basis with the shipyards, tailoring them to its requirements. From October 2016, Stena and Brittany negotiated a long-term bareboat charter agreement with a subsequent purchase option. Construction number W0267 was delivered as the Galicia at the beginning of September 2020. The 214.5-meter long ship has a width of 27.8 meters and a draft of 6.7 meters. Galicia's gross tonnage is 41,863. Its propulsion system comprises 2 Caterpillar Mach V12 4-stroke marine diesel engines, manufactured by Caterpillar in Rostock. Each engine acts on 2 shafts via a Renk gearbox, which drives 2 controllable pitch propellers. This system generates 25,200 kilowatts, enabling the Galicia to reach a speed of 22 knots. The 85-strong crew is almost entirely French. The Galicia's public passenger decks are decks 7 and 8. As with all previous Stena E-Flexers, the Galicia's interior design was created by the Swedish design company Figura Arkitekter. Figura is Stena Line's in-house architect, so to speak. Although Brittany relied on the specialists from AIA for its previous new buildings, it nevertheless worked with Figura to great success. The central feature of the Galicia and the other E-Flexers is the reception area with the small atrium on deck 7. The Galicia's dominant design theme is the Way of St. James, which is why the scallop shell symbol can be found everywhere on board. The promenade on deck 7 leads past the duty-free shop. The Galicia's shop is very well stocked and offers a wider range of products than is typical for ferries. It sells local manufactured products from northern Spain and Brittany, among other things. The main restaurant, Ozul, is located at the front of deck 7. Here, a la carte dishes from Brittany and northern Spain are served, alongside a buffet of starters. The seats directly behind the large front windows are particularly attractive. They provide an excellent view of the bow and the direction of travel. The photos in the Ozul restaurant on the Galicia were taken by the artist duo Klunderby. Nienke Klunder and Wiglius de B, who are Dutch, are behind Klunderby. They created their works for the restaurant especially for the ambience of the Galicia, focusing on Galician folk culture, traditional clothing and landscapes. The arches dividing the room are a feature of the E-Flexer design and can be found on all ships of this type in the restaurant on deck 7. The children's playroom is located next to the restaurant, allowing parents to keep an eye on their children while they eat. Typical E-Flexer deck labeling can be found in the stairwells. The scallop shell is also used here as a decorative element. The centerpiece of Deck 8 is the distinctive E-Flexer atrium, which is particularly popular with passengers on sea days in the evening. The photos in the atrium on Deck 8 are part of a curated art collection put together especially for the ship. American photographer Kimberly Poppy was responsible for selecting the artworks and photographs. The bar and the entire atrium area are called Plaza Mayor, a term used in Spanish to describe the main square of a town, which is also a very appropriate name for this space on board the Galicia. On the port side at the front, there is a day lounge and an area with recliners for passengers who have not booked a cabin for the crossing. At the very front of Deck 8 is the Sea Club Premium Lounge, which offers a particularly stylish and peaceful travel experience for an additional fee. The lounge price includes drinks and first-class snacks. These lamps are covered with lace. In the Sea Club Lounge, you will also encounter a menina for the first time, a figure often found on Brittany Ferries ships on their Spanish routes. There are numerous menina statues of various sizes on board the Galicia. On Deck 8, on the starboard side, is the House of Las Meninas, where the story of this iconic Spanish figure is recounted in detail. Traditionally, the term meninas refers to Spanish ladies in waiting. Diego Velázquez's 1656 painting Las Meninas turned the meninas into artistic figures, a theme that is still explored by modern artists today. Opposite the House of Las Meninas is a further children's play area. The self-service restaurant, La Taberna, is located to starboard on Deck 8. For orientation purposes, the main staircase amidships is labelled red on all E-Flexers. This staircase separates the forward lounge areas from the aft passenger cabins, which extend from Deck 7 to Deck 9 on the Galicia. The photos in the cabin corridors of the Galicia from Brittany Ferries were taken by the American artist and photographer Kimberly Poppy. Each cabin deck has its own carpet colour based on the respective deck's theme. Deck 7 is themed around the beach, blue, Deck 8 is themed around the Calle Real or Boulevard, red, and Deck 9 is themed around the Camino de Santiago, blue-green. Shown here is a standard outside cabin on Deck 8, hence the red colour. There are 343 cabins for the 1,015 passengers. Brittany Ferries pays great attention to the design of the outside decks, making it much easier for passengers to enjoy the fresh air. A particularly good feature is that parts of the decks are glazed to protect against the wind, while other parts have an unobstructed view of the sea. For example, passengers can observe whales, which are regularly seen on the routes across the Bay of Biscay. The Galicia's Bridge. total of 3,100 lane meters with a clearance height of 4.8 meters is available on decks 1, 3 and 5 of the Galicia for rolling cargo such as trailers, trucks and cars. Deck 1 is the lower deck and is accessed via the ship's internal ramps. Decks 3 and 5 each have their own fore and aft ramps and are therefore suitable for double-level loading in harbours. Deck 6, which is a mezzanine deck on the starboard side, is intended exclusively for car transport due to its limited height. This was the second part of the Liner 21 series about the Stena E-Flexer. Part 1 dealt with the history of the Stena E-Flexer series and Part 3 will present the Cote d'Opale from DFDS.